In the quaint coastal village of Nembe, nestled between its beautiful beaches and the shimmering sea, lived a man named Ebi. His heart, once content with the simple joys of life, grew restless, jealous and even angry at the wealth of his cousin Rex. Especially after Rex got married to Amara. Ebi and Amara have been great friends and he had had great hope for their future together until he had introduced her to Rex, and everything had gone the other way, with her ending up as the proud wife of the rich man Rex. If only he was as wealthy as Rex, he would make her regret her actions. Armed with the tales of mermaids whispered by old fishermen around the crackling bonfires and how it had made some fishermen very rich, an idea sprung up. Driven by greed and jealousy, Ebi succumbed to the allure of mythical riches promised by these ethereal creatures. Ignoring the advice of his wise neighbors, he embarked on a perilous quest to find a mermaid, convinced that they held the key to unimaginable wealth. For a year and 2 months Ebi traversed vast oceans and distant shores, his pockets emptied, and his dreams fueled solely by the elusive tales of riches beneath the waves. The salt-laden wind aged him prematurely as he tirelessly searched for a creature that existed more in folklore than in reality. As despair settled in and hope waned, Ebi, battered and bruised, decided to return home, the weight of his failed endeavor heavy upon him. But fate, in its unpredictable ways, had one final twist in store. On a rocky shore, during a stormy evening, Ebi stumbled upon a glimmering figure in the moonlit waves. His heart raced with anticipation as he approached, but as he did the mermaid shook its tail as it pushed itself across the rock and jumped into the river. Ebi hurriedly tried to follow but hurt his knee on a rock. He screamed in pain as he fell on the ground. He had failed this time, but he was hopeful. Still in great pain he struggled back to his feet, and into his boat. "It will be back again," he said to himself. He hid his boat at the bank of the river shaded by some mangrove trees and waited. Hours turned into days, and on the morning of the 4th day, just as the sun was coming up, it showed up again. Ebi took some time to watch the creature before he decided on what to do. He quietly went into the water and slowly simmed over. This time he was going to approach it from the water, so as the creature will be trapped between him and the rocks. He jumped out of the river and the creature, which had been cornered, jerked up itself on its hands in anger. It screamed a loud shrieking sound that was surprisingly scary. Seeing the sharp fangs in its mouth, Ebi took a few steps back, but finally found his nerves and stood his grounds. The mermaid angrily lashed forward and with its tail hit Ebi on the chest. He was thrown back to some rocks. He cried in excruciating pain, but tried to seat himself on a rock. Looking back at the mermaid, he discovered that the mystical creature was nothing more than a majestic sea creature with human-like features. Disappointment washed over him, and in his desperation, Ebi attempted to communicate with the creature, hoping for a miraculous transformation of fate. Seeing that he was no longer trying to get at it, the mermaid turned towards the river and dived in. Unable to move, he lay back down. His futile efforts left him battered and broken. Ebi realized the painful truth. The mermaid, far from possessing supernatural powers, was merely a creature of the sea, beautiful, yes, but not the harbinger of wealth he had imagined. A day later some fishermen found him and thought he was very foolish to think he could dialogue with a mermaid. They took him to a local hospital, and before long he was the talk of the town. He was the foolish man that wanted to marry a mermaid. The shame was unbearable, so as soon as he was well enough he went straight back to the river to look for his boat. Regretful and humbled, Ebi continued his journey home. The scars of his quest were etched on his weathered face, and the burden of financial ruin weighed heavily on his shoulders. Stripped of his illusions, Ebi had gained a valuable lesson, that contentment is a treasure far more precious than the illusory promises of mythical riches. As he walked through the familiar streets of Nembe, Ebi carried with him not gold or jewels but the wisdom born of hardship. The village, unchanged by his absence, welcomed him back with open arms. And though he returned poorer in material wealth, Ebi found a newfound richness in the simplicity of life and the gratitude for what he once took for granted.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed my story. Please support me by hitting the like and subscribe button, so you will be the first to know when we have new stories.